Hey guys, this is Andreas with anythingbutiPod.com, and in this video I'm going to go through my auto-syncing MP3 player tasker profile in detail and show you how you can modify it to work with your device. And doing so, I'm going to use my Galaxy Tab 7.0 Plus, which has tasker but doesn't actually have any profiles. So I'm going to start from scratch and just show you how you do it. There are some things you should do before you even get started. If you read the article, you will notice that I mentioned that you should create a file called identifier.txt, basically just a text file on the root directory of the MP3 player, and just put in whatever you want the MP3 player to be called. I'm actually using a flash drive right now, which is basically the same thing, but so just call it test MP3 player in that file. And you also might want to make sure that the directory you want to copy music to already exists on the device. If that's the root directory, then you're all good, but if you want to have it in music or something like that, then you need to create that. And then you connect it to the device, to the Android device before you even import the profile, because you're going to have it connected while you configure the different file paths and stuff like that. So once you have that set up, you basically go into the article and you scroll down to find a cleverly hidden little link to say download this file, and then you want to save that. You don't want to open it because it's actually will try to open the XML. Come on. There we go. And you want to save that file to your device, and then open it, and assuming you have Tasker installed, it should ask you if you want to complete the action using Tasker, and it does just warn you that it's now available for import. And then you go into Tasker, and you can see that it's empty right now, so you want to long click on profiles, select import, and then the profile will be available for you to import. And then you basically have Tasker with this profile, and you can see that you have a profile right here with a trigger and a task, and the task is also available through this menu. So what you want to modify for your device is the actual task. So you're going to click on that, and then you get a list of all the 16 actions that actually make all of this magical thing work. And there are a couple of places I think, where you actually need to change a few things around. The first one is action number 3, which is read file. This message, or rather this link or file path to the identifier.txt file needs to point to your identifier.txt file. And it might be the same, but more than likely your device uses some other file path to the external memory. So you want to click the little magnifying glass like I just did, and you want to find out where the external USB drive is located. In the case of the Galaxy Tab 7.0 Plus, that's under external storages and USB drive A. And then I have the identifier.txt file, which I can select. So then you just select that and you click your way out of that action, and you scroll down to number 8, which is list files. More specifically, it lists the source files from the directory that you want to copy music from. And I don't think I mentioned this in the article, but this needs to be a directory where all the files are actually right there on the root directory, so you can't use more folders for artists and stuff like that. If you use the other version of the profile, which I mentioned in the article, which is technically simpler, it just copies the entire directory, but it's also slower when you have a lot of music. Then you can use subfolders, because I think it will actually copy all of it anyways. So anyways, back to this. In list files, you want to point the directory path to the folder that you have your music in, which in my case right here is just in the music folder on the internal memory. And you want to long click on the folder name in order to select the folder instead of opening the folder to select files. So then it just populated this directly with music, because that means it's the music folder on the root directory. And click OK. And then number 9 as well is list files. And this one actually points to the external memory, specifically the folder where you want to copy your music on the MP3 player. So I'm going to scroll down, click the same magnifying glass, go into external storages once again, and then long click on the music directory, which basically selects it. So you can see that now it links to external storages, the USB drive A, and then music. And then the final one you want to change is number 12, which is copy file. This one needs to be identical to the one we just did, which in my case means external storages, USB drive A, and the music directory. So once you have all of that done, you can click this little play button up in top left corner, which will actually run the profile without you having to plug it in, just to see if everything works. So I'm actually using an external microphone right now, which is sort of blocking the audio through the headphone port. So I'm going to unplug that so we can just hear if it's actually working. So let's try it. So it will take 10 seconds. That's just well, I explained why that's in there, but it should tell us something shortly.
Test MP3 player connected.
And then it's basically going to run through number 11, 12, 13, and 14 a couple of hundred times, I think. So that takes 10, 20, 30 seconds.
Finished copying 0 files to test MP3 player. 124 files already existed.
So yeah, like it said, it just finished checking all the files, and actually checking the files is what takes time. I mentioned how you can make it faster, but also a bit less advanced in the article. I copied all the music to the folder beforehand, so we didn't have to sit here and wait for it to copy. But basically, if you get to this point, that it tells you that it copied this and this many files and skipped this and this many files. Basically, that means that everything is working. So let me just plug back my microphone back in. So assuming you get to that point, and if you follow this, you should get to that point. You can just click the little green OK button. And the final thing that you might have to change, however I sort of doubt that you have to change it, is for the context and the title field, because basically this reacts to a certain notification, and in order to react to that notification you need to sort of filter out which notification to react to. And in this case that's USB device connected, and that's the notification that pops up when you connect a USB drive. So I think that's universal for all Android devices, but if it doesn't work for you, then it might be something different. So just try plugging in your device and see what this little notification actually says, and then you change this accordingly. And just one final thing, in order to actually read a notification at all, you need to head into accessibility settings in the main device settings, and give Tasker access to or mark it as an accessibility application in the settings, because it actually reads the notifications through the accessibility system. So if that's not checked, then it won't be able to read a notification. And if that happens, you can still run the task manually, but once you start plugging it in and expect anything to happen, it simply won't. So hopefully this has helped you to get everything configured. And if there's still something that isn't working, leave a comment with as much information as you can, and I'll see if we can error source it. But unfortunately, Android uh, is basically spread across so many devices that there are all these minor things ranging from differences in how they handle USB devices to basically hardware incompatibility with certain actions in taskers. So we're just going to have to take it from there. But I set this up right now on this device, which I haven't had it working on before, because I did this on my Galaxy S2. So as you can see, it isn't all that complicated to change to get it working. So that's it, and thanks for watching.